In this video, I'm going to talk about snakes, not the ones you see at the zoo, but the ones that are within you. According to evolutionary psychologists, as humans, we've kind of developed a fear of snakes, and it's an innate fear of snakes. And we've developed that fear of snakes simply because if we didn't avoid snakes when we were in our primate era, then we would have got killed and we wouldn't be able to push forward our family lineage. Along with that, if you just observe humans, everything that we do is tied to us having a strong drive to, increase our survival fitness. I mean, for example, the only reason why women only date men who are competent and obtained or have potential to obtain resources to ensure that her offspring will be safe and secure for a long period of time, and obviously make sure that she's going to be safe as well. And the cause of this has obviously led us to a productive and thriving society. Somewhat. We're productive in technology, maybe not productive in our psychology, but it is what it is. So how does this relate to redding of the snakes within you? And let's dive into this dream that I had. This dream fully started off with me sitting on my desk just doing some simple work. Apparently I had a bird just hanging right there in the cage, and I forgot to check on him because I was just too busy to do some of my work. I was too busy doing work, so I forgot to go check on him. Then I go check on him, and apparently I had this weird ass routine where I would just spray him with water to see if he would wake up, or to wake him up. And I did that. I did my routine. I sprayed him and he didn't move. My bird didn't move. And then I moved my face closer to the cage, and then a nice big freaking serpent starts slithering around that cage, and then I jump back in fear, and I take the snake out and I throw it on the ground in hopes to get rid of it. But all that did was make the snake pissed off and put it in a state of anger. So then the next logical thing I thought to do was to slap it on his head and, I don't know, maybe kill it or something like that. But as I go to slap it on his head, its reflexes beat me and it bites my leg. I feel its venom coursing through my veins, and I'm just screaming there in agony. I end up ripping the snake out, whipping the fuck out of it, and killing it and watching it bleed. And I throw it on the ground and I fall back on the floor. And then all of a sudden I'm on the floor, I'm holding my leg, I'm just screaming in pain. Then there's a whole transformation that happens, and I end up at my old workplace. This is when I was in the warehouse. I was in the warehouse, and everybody left, and they said, "Yo, G, close up the warehouse." So I was closing up all those bay doors, the doors that the trucks come to deliver products through. You know those ones, yeah? I was closing them all up, and as I get to the last door number 10, I see another snake slithering through, and I look at it, and I jump, and then I wake up. And you might say, okay, this motherfucker is crazy. Why is he dreaming kind of thing like that? And with the main thing that I pulled away from this, and I'm weird. I'm kind of a psychoanalyst of myself. So I was like, what does this dream mean? How can we dig into it? So the first thing that we can pull away from that is the snake within my room. The snake within my room, what does that represent? The snake within my room represents the poisonous elements within me and my ability to tackle it and get rid of it. And yeah, just tackle it and get rid of it. But guess what? The fact that the snake bit me shows that I still struggle with my poisonous elements, my addictions, my vices, or whatever the hell it may be. I still struggle with it, and that's why it bit me. And on top of that, there was a bird, that little bird that I forgot, that I neglected for a really long time, and I focused on my work. That little bird, thanks to some insight from a friend, that bird is my childhood version of me. I neglect it. I neglect myself. I neglect fun, I neglect playtime, and I need to get work done because that's my main priority nowadays. And then the snake at work. That snake at work represents, my boss at the time, the other employees that I didn't necessarily like because of the toxic remarks that they would say, or just the fact that they were just annoying coworkers. So sometimes they would say certain things that I wanted to stand up to, but I just never did, and I was kind of scared to. The only reason I might have been scared was fear of getting judged, or fear of whatever the fuck they may think, or just the fear of facing conflict itself. And that is just. It makes the most sense because when I saw that snake within my dream, what did I do? I woke up in fear, and I was afraid to avoid it. And then on top of that, this is in the middle of when I was getting my promotion at that other job as well, when I was getting my promotion to the sales department. So I searched up the symbolism of snakes within dreams, and it turns out that it means change because they shed of skin, and I was changing positions as well. So look at that. Your dream says a lot more than meets the eye. Or meets the brain. So here's some actionable steps that I took away from that dream, because that's all you care about. First step is to just simply destroy the snakes within you, right? There's this term called introspection, and that's just the act of looking within yourself and realizing that you 100% have, things that are toxic and need to be removed. And again, this could be your habits, your personality traits, and whichever it may be. If you don't learn to recognize and encounter and destroy them, you'll just end up like your ancestors who didn't avoid those snakes, or who weren't smart enough to avoid those snakes. But instead of dying physically, you're going to die psychologically and just have the inability to mentally evolve past the point that you're at right now. Second step is to just simply encounter the snakes that you're faced with. This simply just ties into the aspect of embracing conflict. And, as I delve deeper into, the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene, Jordan Peterson, etc., they've all told me that there's going to be people in the world who don't have your best interest in mind, people who are evil that you're going to have to face, and they're just not going to fuck with you. And I was naive until I was like, yeah, word, I faced some of them before. And until I got into these certain environments, and even me at my old sales job, I've encountered those kind of people, and I was naive to it until I faced them, and I had to face them, but my pussy ass avoided them. But yeah, man, simply put, I'm going to face evil people with toxic traits. And that time has fully come, and it's going to continue to come as I get older. And unfortunately, it's still a very foreign topic to me, and I don't really know how to navigate it. But, it is what it is, and we're growing. But God has brought it to my attention that I'm scared to encounter those snakes. So the next logical thing is to learn how to do so. And I'm here to do that with you. I don't have the exact steps on how to encounter it and everything like that, but we're going to learn together, boys. The third step is to embrace change. Don't fear it. Simply put, with me in the workplaces and everything like that, like I was changing the workplace, and part of me was somewhat scared. I was nervous. I was like, damn, it's going to be a crazy sales job. I'm going to be in the corporate world. People are going to judge me, yada, yada, yada. I'm black, trying to have like a victim mindset and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just had to embrace the change, bro. Instead of, being fearful and, sulking in my comfortable little warehouse job, I just said, no, nigga, let's get the fuck out of it. Let's get the fuck out. Let's embrace it. And we're going to go to something, that's going to rip us to shreds. Dead ass. There's been a few studies that actually show that our brains are actually way more comfortable when we're 100% certain that we're going to get hurt, rather than like a 50% chance. So, in a nutshell, we just hate anticipation. We rather certainty. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm just learning throughout life that I'm just 100%, like I'm more 100% certain. Like I feel better knowing this. Like I'm 100% certain that I'm going to get dragged around and caught off guard by the evil and chaotic things that life has for me. And you should too. To conclude this video, I just want you to understand the importance of observing your dreams and being in communion with your past, present, future, and subconscious self, as they're all entangled with each other. And I've touched on this before in one of my other videos, The Cycle of Temptation. But, also facing the snakes in your life along with the darkness that lies within you, because it can be hard to gauge with all the distractions that we have in this goddamn world. But all you have to do is just sit back and watch others, along with, other people's reaction to your behaviors. I like to call them feedback loops. If you observe that, bro, you're gonna get all the answers to life. What I'm doing from here on out, and what I've been doing for these past couple months on my break, is to continue to just research the toxic traits, research all the toxic traits and the guides and how to get rid of them and confront them, especially the ones that you encounter with different people. And I'm just gonna take all that knowledge and all that shit to the grave, or I'm gonna feed it to you guys. So I believe you guys should do the same things too. Don't be afraid of the snakes. Encounter them and observe. Love you guys. Start tomorrow strong, G. Peace.